According to a study, poverty figures in Africa continue to rise. The number of people living in poverty has increased, while in the rest of the world it is declining. Take a look.
Millions of people still live on less than $1 a day. A new report on investments to ending poverty by development initiatives shows the global entity found the number of people living in poverty has soared in sub-Saharan Africa, while figures of poor people across the world have declined. They're using data to help stem poverty.
The gap between the incomes of the poorest 20% in Africa and the rest of the population is growing, is widening. So we're seeing increase in inequalities. And secondly, the living standards of the very poorest has actually fallen since 2008. In other words, the poorest people today are worse off than the poorest people were 10 years ago.
Conditions like this capture the soul of poverty across Africa. It is unbearable to think that people have to live this way every day, but a few others can afford better standards. Truth is, it is a worrying gap between the rich and poor.
We've already engaged in a wide range of international stakeholders who give aid and other forms of international finance, so they know how they can improve their spending. We're going to be holding roundtable discussions with government stakeholders to inform their decision-making. And of course, there's also a huge number, a wide range of NGOs campaigning on the Leave No One Behind agenda. And we hope that this work will equip them with powerful evidence to support their influencing as well.
Experts project worse conditions for half of the 400 million people living in extreme poverty. But they also believe measures can be taken to ensure there's sufficient food, water and shelter for everybody.
We need to invest much more in social protection schemes, such as safety nets. These are quite underdeveloped, but the evidence tells us that they can really be effective in reaching the very poorest. Secondly, we need to scale up investments in human capital, in health, in education. These investments are a win-win. They're good for people and they're good for the economy. And lastly, we need much better data. We need investment in nationally owned data infrastructure so that we know exactly who is being included, who is being included and who's being excluded from progress and the interventions that we make.
The report said in most sub-Saharan African countries, there's potential to grow the tax base. So if we can all join hands, the narrative can change in a matter of years. This could add meaning to an African saying that it is a collectiveness that strengthens humanity. For Africanews, Ignatius Ano, Point Noir, Republic of the Congo.